So this is the November 7, 2021 Justice Coalition Agenda and Study Guide. So thanks always to Brother Cody Mazzarella. He's an activist and he donates his, lets us use his premium Zoom account. He pays for it and we get all the nice features. He's not a CTA worker, but he is a supporter of Revolutionary Unionism. And what is Revolutionary Unionism? This is a phrase that we've adopted, modified it slightly from the industrial workers of the world. And they are another union, like ATU, like Teamsters. And that is, Revolutionary Unionism is to take power from our employer and the politicians through direct action at work and democratic control our unions. By doing so, we can dismantle the service and transactional model of business unionism, which has neutralized our power over the past 50 years. If you all could mute yourselves as you are signed on here, I would really appreciate that. We would appreciate that. Let's jump into the history lesson. Okay, I'm gonna press it. Okay. Like I said, if you have to say something, unmute yourself, go ahead, but I would rather let's just get this stuff out the way. And when we get to the discussion sessions, then it's all yours. You also have the hand raising button there if you do see that. So let's look at the year 1959. That was the day the US Supreme Court handed down a decision that would be a blow to the cause of labor, striving for the kind of major gains they had won in 1956. The 500,000 members of the United Steelworkers of America once again went out on strike. The steel industry was extremely profitable, and the workers demanded to share in the fruits of their labor. Excuse me. Management wanted the ability to introduce new technology and policies to cut hours and employees. The strike wore on for more than 100 days. President Dwight Eisenhower ordered the steelworkers back to the plants. He argued that the Taft-Hartley Act gave him the legal means to issue the order. A decade earlier, Congress passed the Taft-Hartley Act over President Harry Truman's veto as a way to curtail union rights. The steelworkers protested the constitutionality of the law all the way to the Supreme Court. The union lost. In making its decision, the court referenced President Eisenhower's explanation of the impact of the strike. Quote, "The strike has closed 85% of the nation's steel mills, shutting off practically all new supplies of steel. Over 500,000 steel workers and about 200,000 workers in related industries, together with their families, have been deprived of their usual means of support. Present steel supplies are low, and the resumption of full-scale production will require some weeks. If production is not resumed, severe effects upon the economy will endanger the economic health of the nation." The next January, the union and management signed a new contract. The workers received a 7 cents an hour raise. It's in 1959 or 1960. A new automatic cost of living adjustment, improvements to their pension and healthcare benefits, job protections against proposed automation. Now, in your study guide, you have access to this in the link that I sent. You can actually go and read this for yourself. Let's go ahead and unmute yourself and talk about what you think of this little bit of history that we shared, and what's going through your mind about it. Do you think about your situation, our situation, anything? Okay. So if something comes to mind, it's never too late. And that is one thing that comes to my mind is when we fight, we're gonna take some losses. We're always gonna take losses. But with every loss, we learn. And the word we is important. If we, the members, are not allowed, not encouraged, not included in the decision-making processes that of going with organizing and making a contract, then we're not part of the we. We're not we. It's just they. It's the union, the union, the union. It's not us. So when we take on losses, we all lose. When we take on the wins, we all win. And this also shows that the United States government is not really a democratic institution. It's a republic. Okay, it's a republic. That is, the people elect people to make decisions for them. And as you can see, as demonstrated here, the president of the people, he's paid by the people, he's voted for the people, hurt the people by siding with these companies that making extreme profits off of the labor of the workers instead of sharing. So they still fought, right? Even though they lost, they still fought. And they did win something, okay? And now 7 cents an hour, I don't know what that would be. Maybe if anyone knows what that would be in 1959 today, you know, like with inflation. But an automatic cost of living adjustment, okay? Automatic. They got that in their contract. They got improvements to the pension and the healthcare benefits and job protections against proposed automation in 1959. So, you know, we have to realize that had they not taken a strike, well, I'll ask you, that any of you think that if the steel workers did not strike in 1959, do you think they would have gotten these raises? Go ahead and unmute yourself or raise your hand.
Of course not.
Okay, Russia, tell us. You say no. What do you?
No, I mean,
explain more. What you think?
Only because, you know, these places are businesses, and it's about, you know, I think them more so making money than the actual workers. So I've never really heard of many corporations being like, oh, hey, just for the heck of it, why don't we give you guys more money? I don't think it really works like that.
And if they did say that, the board of directors would remove that manager, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's brilliant, brother. And that's what it's like at the CTA, right? We have elected persons telling us, hey man, we just need a good relationship with the managers. We're gonna get what we want. You know?
Yeah. I think, and I mean, I don't know that much, but it seems for the small amount of time that I was, you know, paying attention to what's happening, I'm guessing from my mind, I'm like, well, if every time we get a raise, then all of our other fees go up, then it's like, okay, well, isn't it we're kind of just still breaking even, right?
Status quo. Yeah, you're right, brother.
Hey, and not only is it
Go.
can I jump in?
Hey, hang on though. Nicole had her hand up first, Kathy.
Okay.
So you're out of order.
You're out of order, Kathy.
Oh, sorry.
I moved that we eject Kathy if she interrupts again.
Kathy, you're out of order.
You have a second.
Sorry.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Anyone can interrupt. I just saw Nicole's hand up first. Okay, come on, Nicole. Bring it.
Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. I just caught the end part of it, but I know that we lost the first time, but then we kind of won the second time. And I think that, yeah, you do got to lose to win. Like you lost the big thing right then, but you won later on. So I think that was good because they recognized that if they didn't, it was going to happen again. They didn't recognize in the beginning, but then they looked at it like, yeah, we got to do something because if not, they could, you know, possibly strike again. You know, so I think that it was a lose but a win.
Yeah, that's war, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Oh, I was gonna say about breaking even, but we haven't been breaking even. We keep losing on all of these contracts over the last 30 years, or maybe 40 years by now, but we keep on losing. We lost the cost of living raise. We're losing full-time jobs. We're bleeding full-time jobs, and benefits are being cut. So I just wanted to add that.
And you know, one of the things they got here was improvements to the pension. So I mean, can we agree that the way to improve our pension is to get more people into it? That is, make these part-time positions full-time positions, right? Anybody
Yeah.
disagree?
I agree.
I mean, if you disagree, that's fine. No problem. We can debate. Okay. Anybody else wanted to say anything before I move on to the organizing lesson? Okay. So the next thing is there's a book that we're did I bring it? Well, anyways, but it's on screen here. So in your study guide, there's a link to the pages in this study guide. Okay, and it's a book called Secrets of a Successful Organizer. Okay, by Labor Notes. It's a really good book, really good study. Make sure you get it if you can. If not, well, you're in class. So let's get started. All right, we are in lesson 2. It's all about one-on-one conversations. When the new leaders took over the Chicago Teachers Union in 2010, they inherited a tradition of phone banking for political candidates, but they turned phone banking into a way to have in-depth conversations with members. The heart of our trainings, said organizer Matthew Luskin, was to keep people from treating these calls to get someone out to an event. Instead, it was about learning members' concerns along with discussing the strategy to win. We wanted to make sure that the younger members were in dialogue with the union activists, that we were listening to what issues were important to them, what they were willing to fight for, and what fears they had. New members were often the least involved with the union and the most scared to take action. So in the year before the union's contract expired, I'm gonna repeat that, y'all. In the year before the union's contract expired, phone banks focused on calling members with 3 years or less. Special education teacher Margot Murray says the union's organizing department trained her to describe the school board's goals, listen to members' thoughts, and project a vision of how the union could win. Members were asked to do something, come to a rally, attend a training, join their school's contract committee or parent outreach, or fill buses to the state capitol. Callers also advised members to save money in their personal strike funds in case of a strike. I will repeat that. Callers also advised members to save money in their personal strike fund in case of a strike. At first, the response was, I'm not going on strike. I have all these student loans. I can't afford to spend any time out of work, Murray said. I would say, can you afford to spend time in work if they end up destroying our contract? I talked about the things they wanted to take away from us. And one of the biggest things was lanes and steps, which gave us higher pay for more education and seniority. I said, if they take that away, you'll get no credit and your pay for getting that expensive degree. I went into the history. What happens when unions have to go up against management and we end up being divided instead of united, she said. The conversation usually lasted 20 or 30 minutes. By that time, they were extremely receptive. All right. So let's talk. What do y'all think about that? Oh, unmute yourself or raise your hand.
Well, I think that's right, Eric. I think that sounds about right. That's something what we need to do. Get the members involved in some type of way, to unite, because everybody's scared to lose money if you strike. If you say something about a strike, everybody get all, oh, I can't strike, I don't have any money. But if you stay, as we all have done so long, we still lose money. So it's on point about it, and we need to come together as members to get us a better contract.
Thank you. There's another hand. Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, well, at first I was gonna say, it sounded like it went pretty smooth for that person talking to the union members about striking. And then I was gonna say, but it doesn't seem to work that way at the CTA. But on the other hand, it's an up and down battle. It's never gonna be all people agreeing with us. And, people do agree, but we just got to get them together, which is what we're trying to do. And we have been succeeding, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
And
I think we're very successful.
I agree. And I see Cole's hand. Just let me say this real quick. The whole point is, I think that I see as far as conversations is, I think a lot of our coworkers for generations have been beat on the head with lies and self-defeating affirmations. And the most common one, the lie that they're told is there's a no strike clause in the contract and we can't strike. It's a lie. It doesn't exist. I've gone back and forth with union reps, officers about this. They can't even show it to me. It doesn't exist. All right. In fact, Illinois gives us a right, an explicit right to strike. Now, it's a kind of convoluted thing. And the last two strikes at the CTA, well, the only two strikes at the CTA since it's been in existence since the 40s is 1968, 1979. Those were wildcat strikes. So those were not legal strikes that the state of Illinois in the year 2021 would recognize. Okay. The other thing is they keep telling us you're just a number, you're disposable. And those kinds of things have a deep effect on us. And I refuse to utter them out of my mouth. And when I hear people say it, I say, no, we're not a number. We're human beings and we deserve dignity. Okay. Yeah, Eric, just put your hand up, Eric. You're in the meeting, brother. Just put your hand up.
I'm having a little technical difficulty finding that hand.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Just hang on. Cole is next, and then you join us. All right. Cole. Cole.
Hey everybody. Yeah, just to piggyback of what Eric just said. Yeah, we've been told that organization getting together, even if we all got together, we can't strike, we can't, it would be pointless, and people are just so disillusioned and disappointed. They're disillusioned with CTA and the union, and they're disappointed by what the unions, their lack of their accomplishments. But what it all comes down to is organizing and getting people involved. And once we get that, we need to come up with, we need to get solutions for how to get people more involved, and what it, kind of step by step, bring more people in. A little later, I'm going to try and offer a solution. And so it's just more on that later. Okay, Eric.
All right. Okay. All right. So we have Eric Slater. You're next.
Yeah, I just want to speak on topic here on the reading you just read. We used to do classes like this with this exact book at the CTA properties. Just real briefly, this is a defunct group, but back must have been 10, 15 years ago, before I was elected to be a union rep, we had something called the Chicago Transit Workers Council. And, Andre, I think he's not on the call, but he was one of the people helped to lead a section of it in 103rd Street Garage, and several other people have a long history. And some of the things we did was we brought in caucus of rank and file educators into our meetings, and they would speak. And you may want to still do it. They're a little older now. Like the document said, they won leadership in 2010, but before that, they were like us. They were just a group of activists and unionists that were concerned about their union and trying to reform it. They had a class collaborationist or business unionist leadership like we do, and they wanted to fight that and change that. So a lot of the stuff that they're talking about that they implemented inside the union once they won power, they were already doing in their caucus as organizers. So there's some stuff that, maybe even we could do a phone banking to help build activities of this proto caucus.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, and just in case anyone was a little confused with the terminology, caucus of rank and file educators is like Chicago Transit Justice Coalition is to ATU. So what we're doing, we're following the blueprint of core of rank and file educators who reformed the CTU, because CTU used to be just like us. Just putting in a grievance, we'll take care of it, and just shut up, be happy, and sell you out, and so they stopped that. And that's who the CTU that many of us admire today is actually the renegade activists of yesterday. Go ahead, Cole.
Just with what Eric said, I do think phone banking is a good idea. I think the only obstacle would be is trying to get information, getting their phone numbers.
Yeah.
And so we'd have to go about trying to get those.
I'm glad you brought that up, Cole. We have to make the Chicago Transit Justice Coalition a real organization, a more mature organization, and part of that is having a membership form and not dues. We don't have to worry about money right now at all. And frankly, I don't want to deal with it, but at this time, but I think the main thing is getting people's information, and that's key. And that's part of the registration process to get into these meetings. But we have to refine it. So, anybody who wants to be a part of that, let's make it happen. Couple of things here. We have someone with Chi-Town user is your name. Please identify yourself. Chi-Town user, could you please identify yourself? Going once, going twice. I don't want to kick you out. I don't know who you are.
If you need to tell them to unmute themselves, go down to the bottom of their screen and
unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. Excuse my manners, everybody. Please unmute yourself, Chi-Town user, and identify yourself. Okay. All right. I have to. I'll just put Chi-Town user in the waiting room, and I don't want to. I hate kicking people out. I hate when they do that to me at the union office. And then we have Franzine. Could you identify yourself? Franzine's iPhone. Could you unmute yourself, please? No.
I vouch for her. I invited her.
Okay, Jan, you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I invited her.
Okay, and if anyone figures out who Chi-Town user is, just tell me. Okay, I've recognized everybody else for under registration. Okay, so any other comments about this organizing lesson? So yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick, I think another thing that will give us a big boost, well, especially the people at work on the job, will give us a big boost in organizing is when the TA finally comes out, is to engage people in discussion with the TA. And that might be a really good time to try to get people's phone numbers or invite them to one of these meetings or some other kind of meeting to discuss the contract in the TA. Because it's good to be optimistic about organizing strikes and how good strikes are. And it is an invigorating, wonderful fight. But we got to get people to read the contract and vote the doggone thing down as a first step, toward having a strike.
Yeah, don't forget about that. We're waiting for something, right? So whenever it comes, we're basically telling people vote no, but we're also encouraging people to discuss and present alternatives. And guess what? At the Chicago Transit Justice Coalition, we're all about doing, we're all about action. And we have, I'm going to show you on the screen, and it's also in your study guide, your agenda study guide. We have a contract. It's called the workers' contract. It is just fantastic. I'm the editor of it. I'm not the creator. The creator is you. Everything people say, everything people send us, everything I hear and see in discussions with others, it's in here. Full-time jobs for all, pandemic pay, everything is in here, everything, and it needs your participation. It's totally public, it's open. This is an alternative. So when we tell our coworkers that contract, that official ATU contract is garbage, then they can say, well, what are you got something better? And we say, oh, I'm glad you asked. And you go to chicagotransitworker.com, our website, chicagotransitworker.com, and you go to this button called the workers contract. Boom, it takes you right there. And what's nice about this is it shows you what the original language is and the new language. The new language is in red, the original is in black, and what's changed is stricken through. Everything's there. Okay, I digress. In the chat room, if you want to ask, if anyone wants to ask questions privately, go ahead and use the chat and do that, and I'll try to get you in there, okay? All right, let's get to the next item. I'm scrolling up. Okay, so this is some preliminary stuff everyone should be aware of in the Justice Coalition. Let me see. I'm sorry. I got some people in the waiting room here. Hang on. Okay, so we got Fire Tablet. Fire Tablet, you're gonna have to identify yourself. Let me let Fire Tablet in for a minute. And I'm gonna let Chi-Town user in for a minute again, and we'll see if we can fix this. So some preliminary things. ChicagoTransitWorker.com is our website. This is our website. This is the organization website. This is not an ATU website, okay? But we're trying to be an example of what the ATU website should be like for our locals, 241 and 308. So check it out, learn more about your contract, what your rights are. This is where you go. Taking action, we got a take action button. A lot of really good stuff on there. We have a YouTube channel. You can also access that YouTube channel through the website. At the bottom, there's a button with a YouTube icon. And right there will be the recording of this meeting and all the other meetings. Okay. So we have a couple people here. We got Fire Tablet and Chi-Town user and Francine's good. Chi-Town user and Fire Tablet. Can you please identify yourselves for everybody, and then we can let you in the meeting. After that, we got a Twitter page. We also got a Twitter page. Use that if you're on Twitter. Share it with people. and participate in it. Debate with stuff that we post, share it, whatever. You don't like something, comment on it. Facebook, we got a Facebook public page as well. Now, we also have, for those of you that are been with us for a while, you know that we do not allow current union officers in, elected persons from our unions into our meetings or a membership in the coalition. However, if anyone who is an elected officer or person, they want to come in, we have to ask the membership. And sometimes the membership will say, let's make an exception. So we have Brother Eric Slater, Local 241 North Park Garage Executive Board member, unjustly fired through thanks to President Keith Hill. And he'll introduce himself in a minute. Also in the study guide, we have a link for the Local 241 membership report. And I see your hand, Fire Tablet, hang on. And there's a link for that. And that's really brief because me and I was with Sister Cheryl, Sister Strunk, popping off for democracy. We were both unlawfully kicked out. We didn't even get to go in the meeting hall. And she posted quite a few videos about that. So you get all kind of info. Brother Andre was able to go, but he's working today. So he can't really give us a report. Now it's time for introductions. So let's check out Fire Tablet. Can you go ahead, please?
Hi, good afternoon. The name is Rosie Ross.
Welcome, Rosie. What brings you here?
Just interested in what's going on with the union. I've been with CTA for over 24 years.
24 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm listening to some of the things that you're saying, some of the comments, and unfortunately, I mean, I agree with what you're saying because I have also inquired at one time about the striking, and I was told the same thing, that there's no strike clause. But to my understanding, when a contract expires, everything in that contract expires, not just one section, the whole thing. So when I brought it to the president at the time, of course, I was just told, move on to the next. So I do understand what you're saying. And I disagree. I mean, I'm a union member because it saves the job. That's why I'm a union member. Other than that, just like I tell anyone, this is a union that really doesn't fight for its employees. It doesn't.
It's a company union. It's a company union.
Of course, definitely, most definitely. And the reason my name come under Fire Tablet is because that's what came up when I put the number in. When I put the Zoom information in, it came up Fire Tablet.
Yeah, it's okay. And I thank you for responding so I could type you in. I put Rosie in there. Rosie, what do you do?
I was a customer service assistant.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
I
you're
worked at Howard, Midway, 95th.
Okay.
Blue Line.
Your CSA, you mean your CSR?
CSR.
Okay.
Who is recently retired.
Recently. Okay, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining with us. And there is a little clause in our contract at the end that says when it expires, it's still valid. But again, when they tell you there's a no strike clause, that's a lie. It doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. But thank you. Let's go down the line. We have Franzine. Franzine, would you please introduce yourself and tell us what's on your mind?
I was brought into the group by Janice. I am a rail operator on the Blue Line. And I am just interested in what's going on with the contract, what we are allowed to do, what we are not allowed to do, because I think the fear of the masses at CTA is because they don't know their rights fully. So I just want to be clued in.
Great. And when you say they don't know what to do or what not to do, can you give me like an example what you mean by that?
Well, what their rights are as far as, say, taking off or going on leave, or if they come up with a situation with the supervisor, instead of voicing their opinion, they shy away from that because they don't know, is this the right thing to do? Will I get fired if I do this? Will I get fired if I say that?
Yes.
So that's what I mean. I don't know for myself, is there a book or is there something online that outlines what your rights are as a CTA employee? Because if you don't know something, you will be taken advantage of.
Yeah. We all know about that. So, okay, real quick, I'm gonna get to that. So Chi-Town user, can you identify yourself? I gotta put you back in the waiting room if not. All right, let's do that. Okay, so here's something that we are, where we work, the Chicago Transit Authority, Pace Bus, where we work, we are under an umbrella known as the Illinois Public Labor Relations Act. So whatever rights, worker rights for public sector employees are, it covers us. And then above that is the National Labor Rights Act. And that's for private, but generally the public sector follows that. So your rights, whether even if you don't have a union, your right to collectively protest or speak out about grievances, issues that you have on the job is protected. So you have all kinds of things. I mean, we actually can, as long as you off the clock, you can stand outside with a bullhorn and say, manager so-and-so sucks, you know, if you off the clock, you know, and I'm not saying to do that, but that's a general example. Now, as far as the contract goes, like Eric Slater put in the chat, I highly recommend that you go to chicagotransitworker.com and tell all your coworkers about it. And we have a button that says know your rights. And when you click on that button, and I'm sharing the screen right now, I don't know if you can see the screen, but on the video, you'll be able to see it if you look later. But it's chicagotransitworker.com, know your rights. We take what's on the different union 241 and 308 websites, and we try to distill it into easy to find information. One of the key things is your contract right here. And quite a few misunderstandings can be fixed by searching in that contract. And the nice thing about the way we have the contract is that once you click on it, it takes you to a website where you don't have to download anything. It just loads the documents, and then you can search and scroll throughout the documents without downloading anything onto your phone. So I just clicked on that, and we have some contract related things here, but when you go all the way down, you're gonna see it right here. It says quote unquote the contract. And that's the 2019 contract. That's the one that's still in force right now. And when you go to chicagotransitworker.com, you also need to know this, you and your coworkers, about the bylaws of the union of 308. And if you're on the bus side, it's 241. And then we have your union officers' contact information also. We have information about the retiree healthcare trust. So questions you have about that monster is right here. And then there's the punishment. Now you got to know the corrective action guidelines too, because a lot of times the managers will write you up, and they write you up about something, and it's like, what? Wait a minute. This is supposed to be progressive. You can't just hit me with a suspension because, you know, I never had a hit before, and you know, my necktie was loose. You know what I mean? No, you got to understand that, and that's right there. Also, the sick book procedure. That's another thing that trips us up. We got that there too. And we got Illinois labor law and information about your rights to organize and how to file an unfair labor practice. So check this out, Franzine and others. If the union leadership cannot help you, refuses to help you, doesn't want to help you with your issue about being violated at work, you can go straight to the state of Illinois Labor Board and file an unfair labor practice. And if you're pissed off enough at the union persons or the elected persons, you could file an unfair labor practice against them. You also have a constitution as an ATU member, and you have rights to protest. And as a union member, you actually have a Bill of Rights that all union members in the whole country have. Does it help you a little bit?
Yes, that helps a whole lot.
Super. And then always reach out to any of us, and we'll be glad to help you. And always reach out to the union, you know, elected people too. And if they help you, they help you. That's great. You know, and you're gonna help others. But thank you. Anything else you wanted to say?
No, that's about it. One of the things that I didn't know, you know, and they say ignorance of the law is no excuse, but I did have a situation a couple of months ago where I was written up for behavioral that should have been a miss because I was charged for something that I supposedly did when I wasn't even at work, you know. So the time limit to file the grievance on that has escaped me.
Oh.
So this website is good going forward because I would know what to do.
Yeah, 30 days. 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No problem.
And let your coworkers know that too. Because a lot don't know. We're
Exactly.
ignorance of the rules actually is an excuse, I believe, because they keep us ignorant. They refuse to come out and talk to us. You know, sister. And here in Howard Shop where I work, you know, our union leader, they won't talk to us. They won't answer my questions. I'm a freaking steward. I can't get questions answered. So my coworkers made a petition that we sent to the union president, Eric Dixon, with 50 signatures on it, saying, would you please come and answer our questions? You know, we got to do stuff like that, you know? Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Or are you done? You want to say anything else?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So let's go to let's go to Rosie.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Hey, Rosie.
Hi. Just a question for the young lady. Why didn't her union rep tell her the amount of time that she had to file a grief? Why wasn't she made aware of that?
That I can tell you, and I'm not gonna speak on the union rep. Just me personally didn't think that that particular rep was representing the employee, but you know, thanks to the information I'm seeing on here now, I can move forward and pass it on to my other reps because that's an issue I have as well. You know, I don't think, and not all of them, that the people that the stewardess, if you will, that's supposed to represent the employee, I feel, this is my opinion, that they're not for the employee. So as to the reason why that information was not divulged to me, I don't know. Perhaps they assumed that I already knew.
Okay, these are union reps. They shouldn't assume anything. They're getting paid by the members to divulge all information to you.
Yes.
And if you have a problem with them, you can go over their head.
And see, that's the thing where that fear comes in as well, because in my experience, if you see something that's wrong and you take the particular steps that you're supposed to take to try to correct it, then you become the target. So then you are labeled the troublemaker, and your life as CTA becomes worse than what it is. And so you go to step one, no resolve. You go to step two, no resolve. Okay, you reach out to a union member, they may say something, and then you put under the scope. So I think too, that's where a lot of the fear comes in with employees taking a stand, because they don't want that added stress.
But you're getting more stress. I mean,
exactly. So it's like, excuse me, damn if you do and damn if you don't.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and this is Rosie, this is the issue with the stewards too. We're so in the dark. It's so hard to help. There's nothing. It's like in the union office, it's like they want us to just get by. You know what I mean? And it sucks. It really does. I go to almost every union meeting and it's the same crap over and over. This grievance isn't timely. It's like, why isn't it timely? You know, people should know this. We're not teaching anyone anything. We got a bunch of hands. Rosie, are you done? Can I go to the next?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. This is great. Nicole, talk to us, please.
Hello. Hey, Rosie. I just wanted to give you a little help with that. You know, I understand what you're saying. I kind of was in the same boat, you know, but, you know, the way I look at things, if you feel like something is wrong or you feel like you're unjustly treated, you should, for yourself, stand up. You know, you don't need a union rep to represent you. You can represent yourself. You don't need a union rep, and I know your grievance has passed time, but just move forward from it and grow from it. You don't need your union rep to file your grievance. You actually can do it yourself. If you feel in your stomach that something ain't right, you can go down to the union office, and even if your grievance don't sound right, but it's based on your complaint, you can write that in, and then you let them figure it out. And what I mean by that is, so I don't know what happened. And the union steward, they should have helped. But many a times when I file a grievance, I never even used them. You know how I learned how to file a grievance? Talking to other people like you're doing today. So I think you'll grow from your experience. If you talk to us or even another coworker, they probably can help. A lot of people are scared, but the majority are not. And filing grievances is one of my specialties. I do it all the time. I file grievances. I file labor relationship complaint. I file anything and everything I can, because you know what? It costs you nothing to do it, but it'll cost the union and CTA money to answer it. So even if I'm filing a frivolous grievance, a grievance that I felt like I was unjustly charged for, they have to answer to it. And then you'll get to the bottom of the right way things are supposed to be handled and the wrong way. And it's free to you. But one thing I will offer, just always talk to someone. If you like, that's why I learned a lot from just talking to people. I met Eric Basir by just talking to people. I actually met him on Facebook. He's become my brother that I won't get rid of. I adopted him. So, you know, just talking to anybody, not just us, but like anybody. So like, just say you were angry and you came out the office and you were like mad and you just sat down, and I mean, somebody that you normally talk to, maybe they give you advice. I learned a lot from talking to just different members about different things, and especially filing grievance. And moving forward, if you feel like, hey, they pulled you into the office and you didn't do it, or they just harassed you, call me. And we can sit down and go over the grievance together, because I will call everybody I know that knows something until we get to the bottom of it. So your grievance is filed. And if the union don't answer your grievance, we'll make them answer it. We'll go to the labor relations board and we'll find out what's the truth, how we should be disciplined, and why we should be disciplined. That's just what I.
Thanks, Nicole. Yeah, Franzine, you getting some hot advice here. Hey, we got a couple more hands. Brother Tom Colangelo.
Good afternoon. I just want to know what information Eric Slater has to share with us.
Yes. Well, we'll get to the
Tom,
introduction.
you out of order. You out of order,
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care.
Tom is holding us to the agenda. His agenda. What is your agenda, sir? Hold on. Let me call the police. Excuse me, everybody. I have to call the cops.
Yes, he's out of order. He's
Yeah,
out of order.
yeah. Tom is disrupted. No, they're not answering. Okay, we'll leave you in here, Tom. Yeah, when we introduce Eric, that's when Eric will have the floor. He's almost down there. We got him here. Cole.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to hold us to the agenda too, because I wanted to talk about the bowling and all that.
Yeah,
kind of.
that's coming up. Can
Okay.
we? I wanted to get the introductions done and let everybody speak their
Okay.
hearts and minds, and then
I completely understand that.
is that okay? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So Tom, did you want to introduce yourself at all? You already said what you want to say, but did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm a bus operator, Forest Glen Garage, 9 years with the CTA. I had 12 and a half with Pace.
And
ATU member, 21 years.
And you've been an officer.
Well, I was an appointed steward at Pace for about 9 months.
And
So,
you helped organize some action.
Yeah, sick out.
Say that again?
Yeah, I helped organize a sick out there in 2008.
Yeah, and the buses didn't move.
Nope.
My man. Okay, next is Cole. Introduce yourself, and we'll get to your section soon.
Yeah, I'm a bus operator out of Forest Glen. I've been with CTA for 7 years. And I'm glad to see everybody in here. It really does display that people are getting involved. And even this protest we had this past Monday from the coalition, even though whatever happened, I appreciate all of that too, because we do need people to get out there and to question not only CTA but our own elected officials. So I'm just grateful. Everybody's here. I'm glad to see you all are participating.
Man, thank you. Thank you for the encouragement and being a part of it, Cole. And by the way, a little correction though, what happened on Monday was not a Justice Coalition. There were members from the Justice Coalition there, but really the counter protest was popping off for democracy with Sister Cheryl. So she gets 100% credit for that.
Thank you for clarification. You're right. Thank you.
Yeah. We just encouraged people to participate. That's it. Whether they wanted to put some signs that were controversial or not is up to them. But yeah, Sister Cheryl put on quite a display of power, of worker power and freedom of expression. Okay, so Eric Slater, you know what, Eric, just give me a minute. I just want to grab some people that, because I know you have a very interesting story for everybody here. So let me go to possibly Brother Michael in the city of brotherly love. He's probably yeah, okay. So Brother Michael is he's an activist in Philadelphia, TWU 234. They are going through some crap right now. They've had no union meetings, and their leadership organized some kind of strike and never told the members, and then he called it off, and then he gave them a contract to sign, and it's just a despicable situation for the members, for the workers in Philadelphia public transportation right now. Maybe Michael, if he comes back, he can talk to us a little bit more. welcome to Nirgal. Can you please introduce yourself? We're having introductions right now. Make sure you click on your audio. Looks like you're not having your audio yet. All right. Willette, could you please introduce yourself? And unmute yourself first. Let me ask you. She's coming soon. And we had Russia, we had Rosie. Robert Thomas, could you please introduce yourself? So Willette is a customer assistant. Russia is a bus operator. Robert Thomas is a bus operator. Can you introduce yourself, brother?
Yes, sir, Eric. This is Robert Thomas. Been with CTA since 2016. I'm a bus operator out of 103rd Street, working with the wonderful brother, Andre.
The original boogeyman.
Yeah, and I think it's time that I want to try to get some of, CTA is bringing in a lot of young people, and I want to try to get them engaged, because the old people, the older people that we have, you know, they're not energized. They're not. So I think that we'll have a better outcome if we get some of the young people that are union members involved.
Awesome. It's great to have you. And we love your signs whenever you come to our protests. And it's really great. Three Stooges and stuff.
Yeah. It's gonna be some more of that.
Yeah. Whoop, 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 whoop.
You know, we paying these people, we paying all these people over 100K, and they putting out newsletters with all kind of typos and grammatical errors, no spell check. We got to do better than that. It's popularity contest is over with.
Popular.
Amen.
I tell you, boy, I tell you. One ATU. Anyways, okay, thank you, brother Robert. And then we have Jen. No, hang on. Nicole.
Hi
Introduce
guys.
yourself.
Oh, sure. Hi guys. I'm Nicole Williams. I'm a bus operator out of 103rd Street Garage. I've been with CTA for 24 years. I have 22 years full-time and 2 years part-time. Yeah, that pretty much. I'm a co-organizer with the Justice Coalition. I love this place.
It's cozy in here.
It is. It's really cozy.
Thank you. Kathy, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, my name is Kathy Strzelecki. I'm a retired switchman, and I worked for CTA for 34 years. And I also believe in revolution, that we can build a better society where the workers run things and we can get rid of the rich people. But I'm a little bit tired, so I hope I'm not going to ramble too much. But I see that Russia posted something about can't the CTA sue people if they strike, or
Well, he wants to keep his comments confidential. So maybe respond to him directly.
Okay. So sorry. Okay, we can move on.
Respond to him in the chat, okay?
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're a retired switchman too. Did you say that? I forgot.
I think I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're all tired here. Oh, the question was fine. So go ahead. He said it's okay. Kathy, could you address the question?
Oh, okay. Let me look here. Make sure I got it right. So the second one about, can't they fire those who are responsible for organizing for it? Yeah, they probably could. They could, but the strikers could always say, we're not going back unless we have a guarantee in writing that nobody will get fired for organizing or participating in this strike. So that's one thing. And then as far as sue the members for lost wages, I don't know. I mean, they do have the power. They could do pretty much what they want. But even if they do that, even if they sue the union, we're still better off for having fought back and tried to make some changes that will benefit the workers and our families and the whole Chicago working class. So yeah, oh, I know. I was going to say one more thing, and that's about those miners in Alabama. They're having a big strike, and they were doing pretty good. And then the government said they couldn't. They had to reduce their picket lines, or they had to stop having the picket lines, or something like that. So it's just an uphill battle,
Always.
but worth the fight.
It's always in Russia and others. TWU 100 in 1999 had a strike. New York City and another local did, I think, too. ATU local, I think they did it together, and they were fined millions, and they lost checkoff, you know, the automatic dues deduction, and their president had to serve time in jail. But that's the price for freedom, is fighting. And Frederick Douglass, you know, said this. He said, you know, you have no struggle, you have no progress. And if you want to be a union president, you're basically saying, I'm willing to go to jail. Now, the problem with them, but I'm going to tell you how they lost, Brother Russia and everybody else, how they really lost, is the members during their strike, they rejected the first contract, the first agreement, tentative agreement. And then they had another one. And the membership of TWU 100 rejected the second one by 7 votes. 7. So then the president, Toussaint, he just said, well, it's 7 votes. I'm going to sign it. You know, and that is wrong. So they didn't even go with him to jail. Some of them walked with him to jail, but a lot of the members felt betrayed. It's like, we democratically voted, we won. The people said no on this contract, said, no, we won it. And then you turned it around and signed it anyways. And that's the thing that they do. If people are fighting in the Teamsters for that kind of thing, you know, that kind of thing happens in all these unions where we, the members, don't have any control, no democratic rights. So yeah, and people will be fired and stuff, but that's why when it comes to ATU Chicago, we put that on our presidents. And we had that in 308. It was passed. We were supposed to have a call for a strike vote in October, but President Dixon had that meeting canceled conveniently because of COVID-19. And then we protested and made noise, or made a lot of noise. And Sister Cheryl, popping off for democracy, made a little protest at 308. The coalition did something at 241, and other people around the country were outraged. And then the president of the ATU International said, okay, you guys can't just cancel membership meetings just because you feel like it anymore. So it's a struggle, but the strike is not the strike. It's actually a movement. So when we build a movement, when we fight for each other, we help each other, we care for each other. We're in the streets here and the streets there. We're enforcing the contract on the clock, the shop floor, in the terminals, in the train room, in the kiosks, in the shops. It makes a unified body that when it comes time to strike, it's just time to strike. It's not about, well, what's going to happen? No, it's been planned, right? So we got to try to force our leadership in that direction. And they were, look on Google, Kathy said, look on Google about TWU 100, how they were betrayed. There's some good articles on there, how the leadership betrayed them. And the leadership helped organize the strike. So don't think just because your leadership says, yeah, let's strike, that you want to be with them. Because they could be doing it like UAW did that recently, a couple of years ago, and screwed the membership over. But they had a strike. You see what I mean? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Tom, go ahead.
I just wanted to say about Roger Toussaint. They actually brought him into 241 when Tom Sams was the president. to help organize for a strike.
Thank you. Thank you for the history. And that's not to put, I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying it's, you know, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, when Keith Hill and them took over, now he was sent in by the International, and Eric Slater can confirm that. When that new administration took over, they put everybody out because the International had a campaign going here for organizing.
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger Toussaint was a parent. I'm not sure if he's still on the payroll of the International, but he's right, during the Tommy Sams administration in 82241, he and some other people on the staff from 82 International came to our local office. And I'll say here publicly, Mr. Toussaint was not in favor of striking. He was very much trying to stop us from us even speaking about striking. I remember we had a combined executive board meeting, and I'll speak on my memory. I'm positive Mr. Toussaint was very much opposed to any kind of preparing for a necessary strike. That being said, I think it's important that TWU and ATU work together as much as possible, and we learn from our experiences. I just want to correct that one thing, Tom.
Thank you. Okay, we're almost done with the introductions. We got Nergal. Nergal, can you please introduce yourself? Please introduce yourself, Nergal. Okay, and we have Jan. Can you introduce yourself, please? Anything on your mind, too?
Oh, no, I don't have anything on my mind. I just want to say my name is Janice, and I am a CSA for 8 years, currently on the Blue Line. I would like to thank Francine and Rosie both for taking the time today to join us. I invited them, and I thank you guys, and I hope to see you again on our virtual. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. This is exciting. Go Blue Line.
Well, they both come from the Red Line, which I came from the Red North also. So
I'm Howard Shop. It's okay. Red's okay.
okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, we got Julia. We're letting Julia in. Julia's in. I'm not sure which Julia. I know of a Julia. I don't know if this is the Julia though. If you can hear us, could you introduce yourself, please? All right. So we got, just so you know, just a reminder, we are recording. So if there's anything you want to say that you're concerned about your confidentiality, please let me know and I'll pause the recording. Julia, could you introduce yourself, please? Is this Julia I know?
Yes.
Ah,
Hi.
welcome. Introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi. I don't know, where am I? Who am I talking to? Hi. Hey, how's it going? So yeah, I'm a CTA worker, IBW electrician. I am currently at Skokie Shops.
Oh wow. Thanks for joining, being a part. And see, this shows you we're all CTA employees. So we got ATU 241, ATU 308, IBEW 134, and whoever else, you know. Thank you. Any other introductions that anybody, who's this 4780? Who is this? 4780, unmute yourself and please, and introduce yourself. No. Okay, we'll let you in. I don't know. For now. If someone has to pause the recording, I gotta get you out. Okay. Nergal.
Eric. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. They might not even know that's their username the first time they're on a Zoom. So just ask them if they didn't introduce themselves to introduce themselves, because I know if I log on to my computer, it say something about Keith Hill's court. So they might not know that that's their username on the Zoom call.
I'm gonna change my username to Keith Hill.
Okay, well, yeah, the order, Eric. You like Eric Bazir.
No, I'm gonna change it to Ken Franklin then. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we got brother Steve, we got Robert Thomas coming back, and man, we got brother Steve. Steve, make sure you unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Okay, let's get going to Eric Slater. So a little bit of background. Brother Eric and I go back, way back, just not that far back, with Transit Workers Unite and Justice Coalition. We did some actions together, and it's on the Chicago Transit Worker.com actions section page on our website. But Brother Eric has been through a lot, and we have some disagreements. But we don't need to be disagreeable. So Eric wanted to participate in our meetings. He is currently an elected executive board member of ATU Local 241, but he was fired. Okay, he was fired in a setup, a scam, by the union president of 241, Keith Hill. Keith Hill hates Eric, and he's unapologetic about it. And he's got a Facebook in the chat. He put reinstate Eric Slater Facebook group. So check that out. Eric, introduce yourself, talk to us. If anybody has any questions about things that Eric says, put your hand up or just say, excuse me, and we'll let you in. Eric, introduce yourself and talk to us. What's on your mind?
I'll be as brief as I can. I really respect everyone's time here. I'm a CTA bus operator for 15 years now. This is the second time I was fired while I was also a shop steward and executive board member in 2016. We had a international campaign which won my job back. There's a few people on this call that participated in that. I really appreciate that. And again, management can't stand an honest unionist. I'm also a socialist, and I don't want to take all your time on that politics, but that's an important part of what I am, of building the confidence, consciousness, and unity of working people in our workplaces in the CTA in Chicago regionally and around the world. So I just want to say a few things. Eric's been one of the central organizers of this group. I know there's many people doing this. Like you said, we've been working together for the past few years. I kind of see a very similarity to a lot of the groups that I've been part of in the last 15 years. The Rider Driver Alliance, the Chicago Transit Workers Council, even the Public Workers United, which was a broader coalition of workers. I see a lot of the same fighters, but I'm really impressed that you guys have been able to put together something which is centered on workers at Local 308, 241, and the crafts and the Chicago Transit Authority. It's very hard to do, and you guys have done a ton of work. I'm very impressed with your website. And I just want to say one thing about what just happened. I am an executive board member of Local 241. I don't speak for the union, I speak for myself. I've been elected for 3 terms in contested elections, where several administrations did not want me in there of the union, and certainly management didn't. And I think that speaks to the need, even under these very difficult conditions, that workers really want some honest unionists in there. And it's very difficult to do it. So one thing I want to say is that I've gone to 308 meetings many times and over the last 15, 16 years. And I've been cordially allowed in. Sometimes there's been a few times that they didn't want me in there, but I really respect your local and appreciate that you guys have allowed us to participate. And I very much disagree with prohibiting you and Cheryl from participating. I don't know all the facts. I've heard from what you said, and I trust what you're saying, Eric, that you weren't disruptive in any way, certainly not threatening any violence or anything like that. It sounds to me like you were not allowed in because of your politics, because that you and she supports the joining of our 2 unions in activity, and especially during our contract negotiations. And that's the politics that some of the union officials, unfortunately, don't want the membership to hear.
Oh my God.
So I do agree that this is our constitutional right to participate in our sister unions. 308 members should be able to participate in 241 members, 241 meetings. 241 members should participate in 308. This is a good thing. In fact, I think we should go much further. I've been calling for combined meetings of local 241 and 308 that can lead to combined actions, like some of the ones we had in the Sam's administration when we went to 95th Red Line, where we had mass protests, which were significantly larger than the small ones we've seen during the last administrations, the one we just saw a few days ago. That would be a very good step to coordinating our struggles with the 15,000 families. I just want to remind everyone, it's a huge historical force that we have in Chicago between the two locals. And really, you know, when you have just 30 people on a public protest, or 30 or 40, whatever it was, on last Monday or Tuesday, that's not good. That's a sign that we have a lot of work to do to combine. So I think our little efforts here with just a handful of people really matter. There's not much more people actually going to the union meetings. It's a very sad state of things with all the money that the union takes in, that at this point, many members are so upset at the union that they're not going to meetings. That's a severe problem that activists like us, activist workers, and even some revolutionists should join in together to help change. One thing I also wanted to talk about, real briefly, I think it would be good if some of our shop stewards and executive board members had a shared stewards council. I think this is something Eric ran on him being elected as a shop steward, and I really agree. I've been saying that for 15 years. That would help our unions to work together. I also wanted, if I could answer the question that was, is that okay, Eric, real briefly? The question.
Hey man, hey brother, this is your time to introduce yourself and speak your mind. The members of the Justice Coalition, the majority said, hey man, let him in the meeting. So come on, brother.
Yes, so someone wrote in a question about what management can do to us if we go on strike. Is absolutely right. We should, the main thing about a strike is it's a relationship of forces between the workers, our community, really the working class more generally, against the bosses. It's not just the CTA versus the CTA management versus the CTA workers. It's the whole ruling class of Chicago. You best believe if we have a strike, a real legitimate knockdown strike in A2 Local 241 and 308, it's a general strike of the workers of the Chicago region. And that's a serious business. And that's why we have serious organizations. That's why we have our unions. And you know, our unions have been sick for a while. And the big problem is the class collaborationists between the union officials, not just this current officialdom, unfortunately. It's been going on for quite a few administrations, where we have a hand-in-glove relationship between management, the city officials, and the union officials. That's got to end. That's got to break. That's the main thing that, in my opinion, groups of activists have been trying to do for at least a generation. And I think we're the latest moment of that. And I'm proud to be here with you guys. So thank you for inviting me, and I hope I can help out best I can.
So Eric, some of the coworkers are curious, what's going on? What's going on with your life, man, with your family? I mean, you're fired. Where you know, talk to us. What do we got? Nicole, go ahead. Let me see what Nicole's got to say.
Oh, no, Eric, you can go ahead. My question probably will come after he answered what's going on. That was kind of where my question was going, but go ahead and let him speak. I'll come back.
Okay, go. Eric,
there's a lot to say, and I do refer to people to go to that link. There's an update. It's a little dated. Basically, all employers are trying to attack legitimate unions and unionists, and we know this is going to happen right from the beginning. And you know, we set up an international campaign to fight back. And you should take a look. It's a beautiful thing. Dozens of countries, labor organizations in those countries have shown support for this fight, because they know what this is about. This is about the ability of workers to choose their own representatives, the ability of workers to use their organ to struggle. So what happened is an attack on my family, of course. I'm not getting a wage. I'm getting no money from the union whatsoever, even though I am required to go to executive board meetings and I participate and I fight the best I can within those meetings, following the protocol as necessary. I've gotten several jobs while still trying to help workers over the phone. I'm still taking phone calls from coworkers. Management's refusing, in my opinion, illegally refusing to speak to me over the phone. Unfortunately, and I'm willing to make this public at this point, at least to 241 and HCU members. Unfortunately, there's been an agreement made with the president of my local union and Chicago Transit Authority to keep me off property. And that's something which is really wrong. That's basically allowing management to choose who our representatives are, not the members. We want the members to choose. And that's been a problem with our local union, both of ours, for a long time, unfortunately, before I was around. But my family's doing okay. I'm still driving the buses. My kids are growing up. I got 2 4-year-olds and a 7-year-old, and they're doing just great. That's, I should say one thing. We just had a board meeting a few days ago, and I thought it was necessary to distribute some of that information that I got from the union officers, and I did so on a 241 Facebook page that is North Park Garage members. This is the workers that have directly elected me. So I'm trying to get out the information that I have as an executive board member as much as possible. So if some of that stuff gets to you guys and it's accurate and factually true, I think it's a good thing for HCU members to get that information.
Thank you. Nicole, go ahead.
Yeah, Eric, so I have a quick question because you elaborated. I'm glad you and your family is doing well and you're not really, hurting for anything since the loss of your job. But I understand that you still interact with some of the North Park members and you attend all the meetings, executive board meetings. But one concern that I have is that since Keith Hill doesn't allow you on a property, who is in your opinion, because I understand that they said Wood is representing the members, but all these members at North Park are left without representation. They have to wait until Woodrow come over there, and I don't know this to be true, so I'm asking you, for Woodrow to come over and represent them, because you're fired and the other executive board members in supervision. So North Park members are left without any representation. What is Keith Hill, if anything, doing to represent those members, because they're really left without, and are they outraged? Because I'm outraged and I don't even work in North Park. I think they're just left out there with nothing. He didn't even I don't want to be the president, but I thought that he should maybe assign another steward to them, because we're in a contract negotiation. So all hands on deck should be, I can't say that it is, should be like Wood, Keith, Toy, all of them should be in contract negotiation. So what, if anything, is being done for the members at North Park?
Should I try to answer that, Eric?
Eric, go right ahead.
Okay. Well,
No, you don't have to
sometimes
ask me.
you ask a few questions and then respond.
You're out of order, Mr. Slater.
Yeah, I'm used to that. So a few things, Nicole. There's nothing in writing that I know of, but I've been told multiple times verbally that by the union officials, unfortunately, that I am no longer the representative. I understand that they're saying this in the garage. Even people like the first vice president, the president, I mean, they used to do this when I was there. And I'm getting reports from workers that they're continuing to do this. This is really wrong. Even if we have disagreements within the union, which of course we should and do, we should not be harming the workers' rights to elect the representatives of their choosing. Just because management is uncomfortable with a steward doesn't mean that the union officials should at all working with them to remove that steward. That's a major problem. So I understand that the steward was the only one left to basically do the everyday work. And this is about 600 workers. It's a significant, I mean, maybe Brother Eric can talk a little bit now that he's become a steward, but it's an all-day thing. Every day, all night long. You're in there, you're given 1 day off a week to go into the workplace. You're paid the same amount as you would with your normal job. And you try your best to defend workers against management. You lead union meetings. inside the workplace to try to get factual information to workers. But really, it's hands-on personal relationships with 600 families, really 1,000 families because of the turnover. And that's been cut off. Now, apparently the steward has taken a position in supervision. I don't know exactly how much she's able to do other things. And of course, your first vice president, regardless of what you think about his politics, that's not fair for the first vice president to have, in addition to all his other responsibilities, which are significant, including the pension, other regional duties as the second in command of the union, to then be doing this work in the garage. What they should do is bring me back. I'm very much, when they fired me the first time, I did exactly that. I went to the workplace and did the work for free. I still paid union dues, as I'm now. And eventually we won the case. All the charges were removed, except for one, me calling the manager a pipsqueak. And I got a.
Well, that's Eric, that goes to my point. So I agree with you. I believe that they should reinstate you as a union steward because you were elected the union steward. And until let's like they let people retire and they still let them do their job, it should be the same way. Keith Hill should not make a deal on the members' dime. He should, first of all, he should have let the members vote on it. He shouldn't decide. He should not be the deciding factor. Keith Hill works for us, and you work for the members of 241 at North Park. He has left all the members out there to fend for themselves, in my opinion. I don't work there, so I really don't know their circumstances, but from my understanding, he has left members out there to just fend for themselves. I think that is horrible. Did you contact the international regarding this? Because something should be done because members are being left unprotected. That is our right. That's what we pay our money to. And I think that, in my opinion, that should be your message to the members of North Park. You guys got to stand up. I don't know what they can do, call the international, but they need representation on North Park premises like everybody else, because their union dollars are going to waste. That is one of the biggest problems that we have within this local 241. We're not being represented fairly or
Shut up, Bella.
Oh, I could say, oh my God. Oh, no, sorry.
Hey, now who said shut up? That ain't nice.
I thought I was like, okay, I'll shut up. No problem. I'll be quiet.
Come on,
so
y'all.
that was my reason for asking you that, Eric. I absolutely stand with you. I hope that you contacted the international. Keith Hill is way above his pay grade, because one thing that I know for sure, and one thing that the Justice Coalition know for sure, the members are the union. Keith Hill is not the last deciding fact, and for him to leave members out in a call like that, it is unacceptable. I raised this issue before you even got on this call. I raised it with the steward. I even wrote the international behind the scenes. I think it's so unfair for our union dollars to go to waste. And when I mean go to waste, everyone, whether it's a union steward or executive board member set at North Park Garage, they're still paying dues. And if you said 600 members on a property, that is a lot of money every month to go wasted while they say they got it under control. It's not under control. It's basically out of control. And I don't know what I can do to stand with you, to kind of stand behind you, but whatever I can do, just please let me know, because I feel like that's wrong. The members are the union. Keith Hill is not the deciding factor. And for him to make a deal with CTA, it lets you know that he's in bed with the CTA, because he should never have overstepped his boundaries there, because there are people who retired. Tano Muhammad is the second vice president. He's retired from CTA and he still represents a member. So what's the difference of you being fired because the members elected you? You should be on that property representing the members, in my opinion. That's all I guess.
Let's Eric, can we let Tom ask a question? Or do you want to answer? You want to speak to Nicole's point?
Go ahead. Let the member speak.
Okay, Tom, please speak.
Okay, my question is, what exactly were you fired for? Because I'm hearing 2 and 3 different stories. My executive board member at my garage is saying for a letter of from a doctor's office. And he's also telling us that they have a petition up there to get you removed at North Park. So I'm just trying to get some clarity.
Can I answer that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so 2 questions. So first, you know, we've gone through this, we've gone testimony. I just have to be careful what I say. We've been in federal court, and I don't want to contradict anything. My understanding is CTA has fired me for what they falsely accused me of leading a wildcat strike. And there was false statements given under oath against our case, saying that I directed or ordered workers not to work. This is absolutely not true. And the people who've said these things under oath have not been taken to an account yet, and they should be, especially if they're acting against their brothers and sisters in the union. However, what did happen was George Floyd was murdered. And one of our local unions in Minneapolis put forward some of the brave workers took a stand. A handful of workers said they weren't going to drive police to working people's demonstrations who are opposing police brutality. And they weren't going to also transport passengers who were in handcuffs from those protests. Regardless of what you think, they had the right not to do that work, according to our international president, according to that local union. International president, who was newly elected, wrote, in my opinion, a pretty good statement, or his legal team did, and he signed it. And it said that workers have the right, just like during the coronavirus. I remember, if you recall, Eric, at that time, we were really fighting for better working conditions and safer conditions for the beginning of the coronavirus and the attack against our democratic rights to have union meetings. And that was, we were right in the heart of, we still are in the heart of that battle. And so what I did was I went out to the parking lot, as I've done many hundreds of times, and led a union meeting. And workers, of course, know me at North Park. And I simply read verbatim from my cell phone the statement from the international president, stating that workers have the right to refuse to do work. And I didn't say anything myself. I just simply read the statement of the president. And that's when the manager of the garage came and said, you know, chased me down, said, calling the police, you know, you're fired and so on. And he put the paperwork in later that day, we found out. And the rest, there's a long history. I don't want to take all of your time here. You can go through some of the public protests we did, some of the statements that were made, really beautiful statements around the world. We had a mass action in downtown Chicago, where we marched with several, perhaps 100 people to the CTA headquarters, et cetera. Can you remind me what the second question was? I'm sorry, I apologize. Tom, can you say the second question again?
The petition?
Well, they're saying it was a doctor's note that you were passing around to people to get time off during the pandemic. That's
yeah,
why
there's so many rumors that there's no truth to that.
Okay, because that's what my executive board is telling us. And
well, I'm
Cole
glad
Gidley-
you're going to the source. They also said that I was encouraging people to put tape on the videos. I don't know if you remember the time when they were starting to put the videos on our faces, and a whole lot of people got 31 days suspension. They also tried to pin that on me, which had no truth whatsoever.
And he's also telling us that they now have a petition going around to get you removed from office up there. Is that true?
Yeah, I think that they keep on trying. Yeah, so I've seen some of it, and of course, you know, I haven't been on property. They literally call the Chicago Police Department, and they have several times, and to have a serious, to physically remove me from the garage. But it's been over a year, I believe. My timing's not right. It's been lots happened since then.
And is the International helping you at all since you were reading their statement?
So originally we were in correspondence, and we still are, and we definitely are writing letters and requesting help. Just recently, I sent a letter to the entire executive board and shop stewards of our local union. So there's not one of them that is unaware of the situation. Like I said before, I try to act with protocol within the union. The reason for that, in my opinion, is when the members actually take their union, we're going to need these protocols. We're going to need these methods of struggle, which have been learned for the past 100 years, more than 100 years, that are enshrined in our bylaws and our Constitution. We need those democratic rights, et cetera. We did ask repeatedly And we asked for their legal assistance. We asked because they have significant power with 200,000 families. We asked for them to participate in our mass actions. We asked for public letters. What we did receive was a letter from President Hill. I don't know if you have this in front of you, Eric, if you want to put it up here. It's also on that same site you're on, I think a little lower, where there was a letter from President Hill, signed by President Hill. It's not clear whether he actually wrote it himself, but he signed it on union letterhead saying that I was unjustly terminated, I should be brought back to work, but also said that he's going to go into this agreement because he thought this was better for perhaps management, that I'm not allowed on property. So I hope that answers your question. There's a lot happened. I'm trying to give as much information I can carefully.
Well, I got one more quick question.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to vote at the executive board meeting?
Yes. In fact, the documents you're seeing right now, if I understand correctly, there's minutes, and I'm unfortunately the only one voting against many of the things that are happening. Again, I think this is 241 should have access.
Most of the executive board, they were voting to cancel the meetings.
Well, I'll say this, I just to step back a moment. I've been a board member for three terms, and I've been very active for 15, 16 years in the union. And what I've seen is a really attack against the shop stewards and the executive board members by the city administration, the state, by, unfortunately, even our own international union, with several trustees of our local, with, in my opinion, many of the more talented union stewards were removed from office improperly. And that's been going on for a long time before I was here. And that's in addition to the normal, unfortunately, attacks by management and the city administration. So it's very difficult to keep your head in this situation. It's very difficult to be an elected representative of the workers in these conditions when, like I say, there's been a long history of class collaborationist politics, of business unionism, where the managers are very close to the union officials, unfortunately and inappropriately.
Well, you see, because my executive board, he's telling us that he always votes for in-person meetings and the vote is always a low vote. So we're trying to see who's voting for what.
Well, I like to work with the Justice Coalition with getting out that information. It's difficult for me to do as an individual. I have obviously many friends and contacts, but if we're serious about getting this information out, especially to ATU members, I don't want to harm our union in any way. I don't want our personal information, our dirty laundry, to be outside of our union. That's an important thing to do. But among the members of ATU, we have a right to this information.
You know, Eric, I have to say, my brother, I resent when you say that kind of thing, because about dirty laundry. These sellouts, these traitors, Keith Hill, Deborah Lane, Franklin, Dixon, all of them, they're killing us. You saw it in March of 2020 at the 241 meeting, when that frickin' liar refused to let you read the motion that we and many members worked on for like 2 weeks to save lives before the first wave of the pandemic started killing us. He didn't even let you read it. The bastard, he didn't even let you read the thing, man. All we were calling for was joint meetings to decide a plan of action to save lives. So the laundry it's not about airing dirty laundry, Eric. It's about letting the people know. You can't make it any worse than it is, Eric. You can't. We gotta let these people know. They treat you like crap at these meetings. He talks to you like you're a punk with no respect. He constantly worked to get you fired. This guy calls up members who seem sympathetic to you and who speak back to him, and he threatens them with loss of their job. This man is out of control. You are damaging our union when you don't air this so-called dirty laundry. This man has ruined your life, man. You are a good operator. You are a safe operator. You're a thoughtful man. And this man destroyed your life, and he's destroying a lot of other people's lives. So air it, because that's why we got you here. And we're not going to take you hiding behind militancy and the dogma anymore. We're dying out here, Eric. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Well, Brother Eric, I'll say this. I have a different, sometimes I have a different way of doing things. I think you really agree that no one can take anything from you. They can take your life. They can't take your self-respect and your self-dignity. And I don't care how many times that lies are said about me or people I work with, that doesn't make them true.
I'm not talking about the lies, Eric. I'm talking about destroying human beings. That's what I'm talking about. They can lie. They lie about me all the time.
Right.
Some jackass is saying I got an aunt that's a retired manager that got me a job in the shop. No, damn it. I got the shop because I can read circuit diagrams. That's all. I passed the freaking test. I didn't even know how to use an impact gun, but they said, well, come on in, you passed the test. I mean, you know, who cares about lies? I'm talking about a man.
I think
a man that works with management to fire people, to punish people. This man got Eric Struck fired. This man has called cops on us, man. He's out of control, and you're in there, and you're like,
and he hit me.
Am I out of order? Go ahead.
You're not out of order. No, you're not. You just forget that he hit me.
And he hits people. So no, Eric, hang on. We're gonna let some people talk. We're gonna let some people talk. And if it's too much, you're pissed off at me, that's okay, man. I just want to speak to you for now. I've told you the same thing on private on the phone. Now I'm telling everybody in the meeting. That's what I think. Because I don't like the way you're treated. It ain't right. And I don't like the way that man treats people. I don't like the way Hill, Dixon, all of these sellouts, they treat us like dirt, and we're sick of it. Go ahead, Nicole.
Well, Eric, I just want to ask you this. As an executive board member of North Park, do you believe that the union belongs to the members?
Definitely. In fact,
okay, so since you believe that the union belongs to the members, why wouldn't you stand up and be that voice for the members? We elect executive board, any officer of 241, executive board member or steward to stand up for what they believe that is right. Now, that's what we want to hold you to as well, because no matter what they do, they all some crooks. We can prove that they're crooks at the Justice Coalition. We can prove that they're crooks. It's gonna come out real soon that they're crooks. And we know they're in bed with CTA management. We can prove that too. But we elect you guys for when we can't speak to speak for us. And apparently at these executive board members, this is not happening. So we need you and the rest of them to be held accountable. Because I always call for when things go wrong, like the vote that was against Eric and Cheryl last at the union meeting, the 241 union meeting, I said, everybody who voted for it, let's remember that, members. When it's time to vote, let's vote them out, since they don't believe our voices need to be heard. Our voices as members need to be heard. We need to be respected, and we need people like you to do it for us, because that's what we elect you for. And if you ever get put back in that position, can you openly say that you'll stand up for us?
Is this a hypothetical, or would you like him to answer?
I would like him to answer.
Come on, Eric, bring it.
Well, it's a bigger struggle. And I mean, no disrespect to anybody here. I think I have less years than a lot of you with the CTA. You know, this is a big struggle. This is not just one person. And if we ask a few individuals, you know, including Brother Eric, who's the other Brother Eric, who's heroically doing all this work, and many others to publicly do this, we're going to break his shoulders.
Well, let me say this, Eric. When I started my struggle with CTA and Keith Hill, after he assaulted me, I started alone. I stood alone for a long time. And then I met Brother Eric Basir, Andre, and everybody else. But before them, it was me against the world. I was willing to put everything on the line to get the lying thieves, assaulters, and everything. Excuse me, that's not even a word. I'm just making up stuff as I go because I'm angry. I stood by myself and I put everything against it. I said either it's going to be me or Keith Hill. And my anger fueled to where I'm at today, and I believe I'm in a positive situation. So I understand that you're just one person. I'm just one person. But before I was a part of the Justice Coalition, I stood by myself in integrity for the members, not only for myself, but for the members. So can you publicly say that you're willing to do that as well?
Well, what I can say is that our power is many times multiplied by when we're acting collectively. So what we're doing right now is a good step forward. The work that's been done for the past 2 years with this, when we're acting as a group. And when we're acting individually, we get cut down. Yeah, you know, my family's surviving, but that doesn't mean they didn't take out my unemployment benefits. That doesn't mean that it was easy at all on my family. And I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish the stuff that taken on. Yeah, when we decided as a family to take on the mantle of a shop steward, we understood all kinds of slings and arrows were going to come. But we're here.
I'm not.
But it's not an individual.
Hey, you know what? We got some other
can't win
hands.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm good, Eric.
Thank you. I think there was an answer there. Now we have Julia. Julia, would you please add to this, please?
Hey, so I don't have a lot to add. I'm just sort of hanging out and catching up on information with all what's going on with all of you guys. I'm not sure what Eric's hesitancy is to answering the question directly. Of course, Eric's been fighting. That's why they've been going after him so hard. He's had a reputation. I was stationed at North Park for quite a few years before I went to Skokie. And even though I'm in 134, I talked regularly with mechanics and drivers there. Everybody knows what Eric's reputation is. He's always tried to represent the membership. You know, and that's why he got fired for a second time, right? And that's why the union is constantly trying to get him off the board, because he's constantly voting no alone, raising thorny questions they don't want to answer. I don't know why Eric is being modest or not answering the direct question directly, but that's fine. I'll answer it for him. And I think I just did. I think we can go back and forth about dirty laundry, and have in the past. I don't want to beat a dead horse, or maybe it's a live horse, whatever. I think there's a long tradition in the union movement historically to clean our own houses without bringing in, you know, government agents and federal agents who have their own interests in.
Uh-oh. Are we breaking up? Are we losing Julia? Or is that my connection?
Destroy.
Julia, try to get rid of your video. Sometimes that'll help your connection.
Julia, you're breaking up. Maybe go audio only. Dang. Shoot. Okay. We're losing Julia. Let me just send her a little, see if she sees this chat.
Well, I want to say thank you for things she's saying. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm guilty of some modesty. It's not false. I go by my record and what I've done. And you can ask the workers at North Park, who I've intimately assisted and worked with their families for, it's been 8 years now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we lost her. Her connection dropped. Yeah, we lost her. She'll hopefully be back. Okay, thank you. And any other questions or comments? Okay, so since you're here, Eric, we have someone asking a private question. If union reps are taken out of office once their CTA employment has been terminated, wouldn't that mean the CTA and 241 are acting as one entity? Sounds like it to me. What do you think? What do y'all think?
Well, I stopped short of calling it a company union. I know you used that word, Eric. I think that's reserved for maybe Julie can speak more about. She's kind of a labor historian. But there's really serious, much more significant obstacles in some unions. For instance, around the world, there's many unions which are controlled by the government directly. And you can't get the job unless you get into a company a government organized union. And it's very difficult, it's structurally very difficult to get out of it. Then there's a company union, which has been set up really over 100 years. The companies would set up places for workers to live, and then set up this sham union, which would be controlled by managers of the corporation. So that's what we mean by company union historically. What we have, I think you're absolutely right to call it a business unionist, and it's really deep. You can see it in the minutes. They're not even hiding it. They're having closed door meetings with management repeatedly, and they're telling workers this is the way the union should be. It's not. That's not how a union should be. Like the sister was saying earlier, it's a bottom up. It's the members that own and run the union. And there's a lot of things we can be doing immediately. We've been calling for those combined mass meetings between 241 and 308. We can be calling for a stewards council, and we can win these things. Those are just some of the things I'll respond to that.
Okay. So hopefully Julia will be back. We have some people that dropped out and came in, and I don't know, Brother Brandon, it would be great if you could introduce yourself, if possible. Brandon, if you could unmute and introduce yourself. Maybe you can't. Maybe you're in a restricted area. Okay. So Brandon, if you want to introduce yourself, just just say, hey, I want to say something, excuse me, whatever, raise your hand. Julia, you dropped off, your connection started breaking up at the end when you were about to explain.
That's fine.
Yeah.
My phone's overheated and like completely crashed, but I have a lovely ice pack on it now. So
oh my God.
It's an old
safety hazard.
It's an old iPhone 7. So I don't know if I'm interrupting somebody or if I just, I just want to put some context, not necessarily, I'll weigh in on the issue. I just want to place some context about the debate that goes on between the two Erics about airing dirty laundry briefly. I think there's other things that would have to be talked about, like including what we can do to get him reinstated. This is totally an outrage. And, to his point about collectivity, I mean, it needs to be more than just him distributing information about his case to the various garages and shops around the system, because obviously there's plenty of people who don't know what happened and what's going on, right? And that can only benefit him. But to just make the point about there's a history within the union movement not to clean our own house and to not create a situation that brings in government agents that have their own interests in destroying the union under the pretense of helping us clean our house. And I think that that's the only point that Eric Slater is trying to make about it. I understand Brother Eric's justified rage over the issue, as he's made very clear here and elsewhere. But that's sort of where that hesitancy comes from. And I think if you have an engaged membership that has the ability to communicate with one another, you can do that cleaning. And that's all I'll say.
Yep. You're right. I think you're right. Anybody have a comment about what Julia's saying? Anyone want to build off of that?
I would like to hear from Eric Slater, what we need to do, because this is like a year already and it doesn't sound like it's going anywhere. And that's what worries me, is like, are you ever going to get reinstated, or is this just over with? And that would be a damn shame if it were just over with. And they shouldn't be allowed to drive you off the executive board either.
I agree with that.
Well, I don't want to dominate your meeting. I want to be invited back again, and I want to work on the issues that you guys are working on, and I want to be a soldier with you guys. But yeah, I think Julia wasn't here before. We talked about some practical things I think we're in agreement with. I'm not sure of calling for mass membership meetings. If they've got to do it online or over the phone, fine. But between the two locals, 308 and 241, I certainly would have no problem with our brothers and sisters in the trades joining with us in those meetings, because we're all going to be affected if we have to stop the buses and trains. One thing I definitely agree with what Julia is saying. Yeah, that's the main point about state interference in unions. We've seen this with the UAW and really all the unions since the 1930s and 40s, when a lot of the revolutionists and socialists and anarchists and others, which were systematically rooted out of the union movement. And what we had left over historically in the 1940s and 50s was this class collaborationist hand in glove management. So it's a long history, and we don't want to do that again. We don't want to give anything of the rights away that we've fought so hard for, to have our independence from our families, our communities controlling our organizations, the unions. And so I'm not going to give anything away in our bylaws and constitution. Those are things that have been fought for, and I very much agree with you, Brother Eric. This is a life and death issue. For many of us, people have died in our workplace. Some of them I've known. Many people have been for months in the hospital under torturous conditions. So very much, but that also means we have to step up and organize with clear heads and eyes wide open. That's what I hope to do with you, brothers and sisters.
I get the old one.
Oops, I muted Eric. Julia, did Eric answer your question? What was that?
I could probably catch up with him later about the specifics of his case. As he said, also, he doesn't want to dominate.
Okay.
I don't know if somebody can mute
Okay.
themselves. I don't, this is your meeting. You guys obviously have an agenda that has a number of other points that you should get through. So
Yeah.
I don't want it to get sidetracked into his case. But
Okay.
at some point, somebody's got to figure out what the best defense is for him.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Eric. And you see, look at, we debate, we get a little heated, get a little excited, but we can still work things out. Okay. I'm going to jump to this next agenda item here. Any other introductions? Anyone wanted to introduce themselves and didn't get to do it? Please do it now. Okay.
Oh, it's Stephen. Hey.
Hey, Steve. How's it going, brother?
Stephen Yen, CSR out of Kimball Lawrence. You had a Friday, we had a meeting, Vicky. Good
Hang on,
exchange of info.
hang on. It's coming up. It's coming up in the agenda, brother. Just stay on the line, okay, please? Can you do that? Can you give us a couple more minutes?
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Just a couple, give me a couple more minutes. I'm gonna squeeze this in, brother. Just hang on. You on here though. Okay, real quick. Look, Cole and Jan at our meeting, at our in-person meeting last month, came up with this really cool idea. So Cole or Jan, can y'all talk about it? It's on the agenda. It sounds strange, but I really want you to listen because it has it's deeply symbolic, and I think it's something that we ought to we ought to try. Cole. Oh, he's probably like not there. Let's see, ask to unmute.
Did you call me, Eric?
Yeah. Let's talk about Operation Strike Force.
Oh, well, we're going to try and get people to come out to a bowling alley, Eric. That's the plan. This bowling alley is located out by 294 and 290. We're hoping that we can get people to come out, we'll have some fun, some drinks, have a laid back atmosphere, and, maybe talk about some union stuff too. So that's kind of the gist of it. There's a parking lot, it's kind of in a central location, and we just got to figure out if people are interested in that and kind of figure out a date. So
Yes, and what we want to do is we have a link, and I just had it here, right here. It's Hillside Bowl, so it's west. So it's not too far west. It's not like Aurora.
That's right. That's
or
right.
something, you know. But we got to do some west stuff, right? A little west.
Yeah.
So Hillside Bowl, children, adults.
Yes.
Maybe you could bring your fish. I don't know. But you know, they got a winter special. So you click on the link, look in your agenda, everybody, and they have the prices, they have the days. I was thinking that Cole and Janice, Jan, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I need Cole's number, or Cole needs to get in contact.
No problem. I'll send that over to you.
Thank you.
So they're going to really start laying the groundwork for this. And I think it's a great idea. Does anybody here object? This is not going to be a protest, really, but you can come, you know, with a sign, I guess, if you want.
I assume we're all open to any other ideas too, not just bowling, but any sort of group activity that we all can do together, you know, relax, you know, have people come out, and then, you know, talk a little about some of the union stuff. Just get people involved. That's what we're trying to do, is get them involved, get them organized.
Yeah. And we get new people, we can recruit them into our cause for revolutionary unionism, union democracy. And we got to come up with a name. We're going to come up with a name, right? It's going to be something like Strike Force or Strike Team. And they'll be like, strike, woo, what's a strike? And like, no, it's bowling, man. It's just bowling.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're going to work on some ideas. We're going to put some polls together. So Jan and Cole, but does anyone object to this? I mean, don't feel free. Does anyone like this? They want to add anything? They want to be a part of this little committee? So I don't hear any objections. So, you know, let's make it happen. Okay.
All right, we will do. I'll get a hold of Janice and we'll work on it together.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, next point. What happened after November 1st? Real brief. November, no. There's a CTA budget. So in the, check it out. It's pretty interesting read. It's somewhat educational, might be full of weird stuff. Maybe you'll find something interesting that you might want to write an article about for our next newsletter or for the Justice Coalition page. I'm encouraging everyone, look at this budget, look at what's in it, think about it. How does it affect us as workers and whatnot? November 1st, we had the mandate. People are being let go. They're getting their papers. I've seen them. They've been coming across my way as a steward and in the shops. They're being real about this mandate. Okay, they're coming down. It's terrible. Our freaking union leadership sold us out, gave everything to the arbitrator to decide, didn't ask us. My God, we got to protest. We got to speak up. We know people do not deserve to lose their jobs over this. It's just wrong. I got vaccinated. Some of y'all got it, but I just don't believe you go and fire people because of this. And there's other ways around things, but this is wrong in my opinion. If anyone objects and they want to debate it, that's perfectly all right. The protest, Sister Cheryl had a really cool counter protest, and some Justice Coalition organizers showed up as well. The union leadership was upset, and that's okay. But some people who were with the official protest came over to Sister Cheryl, came over to some of the Sister Kathy and others and talked to them. Kathy, did you want to share anything? Because you were there. And I think Robert was there. Anyone who was there at the counter protest, could you talk about what happened or anything interesting that you want to share? I think Kathy dropped out. Okay, so finally, we have the hour, almost finally. Hang on, Steve. I hope I still got Steve. Yeah, Steve's still there. Almost done, Steve. Finally, hour of power. Okay, we have got to start organizing for our next protest. You know the hour of power, right? We've had a couple of them. Well, it's time for a new one. members were polled for the past couple months, where did you want to have it? And they said the majority was Harlem and Lake Terminal. So now we got to choose a date. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what dates we have, and we're going to close the poll today. But I want you all to give me a voice vote, and we're going to tally that up and choose the date, because we got to start promoting this now, especially with this contract nonsense going on. Sorry, I think I got the wrong account. Yep, hang on. Any comments, any questions? Anyone want to say anything? Please speak up. Okay. All right, so the hour of power, we really like to do these things, like heavily promote them, and encourages members to exercise their rights to speak out when they're off the clock about working conditions. And we're hoping to help build, you know, a movement, and encourage coworkers to start doing their own protests and forming their own organizations, because we don't have to be the only one. So I know we're going over time. Hang on, everybody. I'm gonna close this out today. It's loading. I'm sorry. I got a million windows open and not a lot of RAM on this little laptop. And again, if anyone wants to interject, please speak up. So while that's loading, let me go to the local 241 308 merger poll. We actually have a poll. People, do you think that, you know, the two locals should merge? And so far, it's looking pretty good as far as people that want to do it. Here come the responses. We got 30 responses so far. We'll keep the poll open for a while. It's changed a lot. So look at this. Look at this. So 43% say yes, we should merge as a single local. 13% say no. And what is that, like a single percent? 6% say maybe, but 43% say yes. So 36 say we need to leave the ATU. 43% say yes, we should merge. And 13% say no. I find that very insightful. Anyone have any comments about that? My God, the poll is not open.
Oh, I got something on that, Eric.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I find it insightful, because that's letting you know people are fed up with this union, and if they don't start with these unions, I'm sorry, if they don't start, you know, doing something for the members, then we got all kind of options. As long as we stay together.
Yes.
Keyword being we.
Yes. 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 Yeah, that is very cool. I see a hand. Go ahead, Colangelo.
Yeah, I think we should merge into one local. There's more power in numbers.
Anybody disagree? I agree. And then if that doesn't work out, then we leave. That's what I was thinking. This damn thing isn't loading. Okay, I'm gonna put the poll on the Justice Coalition group and ask you all in the group, in the Facebook group later, to please vote. We got to close it tonight, and we got to start promoting the hour of power. I'm sorry, it's not loading. I'm just having technical difficulties. Finally, candidate forum. Oh God. So I skipped that. Look, everybody here in this meeting, you gotta please fill out that candidate forum. We need to have a whole slate of militant candidates ready to run for office whenever someone vacates a position, or whenever we have general elections in 241 and 308. That's what we're focused on now. Please, Please don't think you are not qualified, okay? Just do it. We got people with years of experience. They say they're qualified and they keep killing us. It doesn't matter, okay? You'll learn. Next meeting date, we're gonna do in 2 weeks from today. And now we have Brother Steve. Brother Steve, he has been working on an amazing project, a very fascinating project. Let me see if he's unmuted. Steve, introduce yourself and
Oh, can you hear me?
what's been
Can you
going
guys
on.
hear me? Can you guys
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Stephen Yen out of Kimball Lawrence, CSR, working on that healthcare trust with a lawyer. Vicky came, we had a 3-hour meeting plus, so it was, he must have been interested. He didn't come out and say that we have a case, but he thinks we do. So it's looking much, much better.
Steve, I'm sorry, do you want me to record this or do you want this not to be recorded?
Oh, most definitely. I wanted everyone in the whole world to hear this, yeah.
Okay, continue.
So then, it's 241 has a lot of dirt on it, okay? In paperwork, as far as Vicky has in her possession. We need more information on 308. I know that 308 has a lot of dirt too, but we need documents. It's not just talking about it. We have to find some more evidence, and the international, that too. You know, they just come in and kind of like clean house. That's what they do. So, but as far as 308, we need more evidence. If anybody knows or has any information like on documents, kind of like what Vicky has. She had like a whole folder full of stuff. But of course, she was a delegate in 2016. So she kind of was on the inside. So I don't know if anybody's been a delegate of 308 or something, or a union steward or something like that. Maybe they can get some inside information, because the lawyer needs that. And we need the retirement, some sort of document before 2008, because the healthcare trust was implemented in 2008. So we need something going back before that, because they started hiding that before, right after the healthcare trust was implemented. So that's where we're at so far. And then we might have more meetings there too, but his office can only fit about 4 or 5 people. But we can go somewhere else. I mean, if it was warm outside, I live 3 blocks from his office, so that's pretty funny. But I can offer my patio. I could probably fit 15 people in my patio. But anyways, the point is, we need people to go there and to talk more about it with him. More information, the better. Documents, not just information, but information in hand too. I know it's a lot to ask, but that's what we need. So that's pretty much where we're at.
So what is this? The purpose of this? Your project, Steve, is what? For those of us that aren't too clear about what you're talking about, what is the purpose?
Oh, I'm building up a case. I'm building up a lawsuit. We might do class action again because we're suing the union. Originally, we were going to sue CTA, but we're going to do the sue the unions. I feel that that's easier and it's more dirt. If we try to sue the board of the healthcare trust or the CTA, it'll be more of an uphill battle.
So sue the union for what? What is the damages that?
Oh, for taking the healthcare trust money, 3%. It's going to drop down to 1% at some point, but it's still not the point. The lawyer said it's still not right what they're doing. It's unconstitutional what they're doing. So it's either constitutional or it's not. So in this case, it's not constitutional. Now it's up to the lawyer to prove that. And then if it's unconstitutional, they have to restore and give back all the money plus interest. In Michigan, the teachers of Michigan, they had the same thing, and they sued, and they got something over 500 million. I know it was, she said the exact count, but it was somewhere in $500 million that the membership, but their union fought for it. Unlike ours, they didn't. So that's what we're up against right now. So she does have examples of other municipals that are doing the same thing or did the same thing. Okay. retirees did it. They got, they stopped them from taking it out from them. I don't know how much money they got back, but one thing's for sure, if you're going to fight, you'll probably get more back than if you don't fight, if that makes sense. Kind of like what you guys said earlier, you have to keep fighting.
Thank you. We got a question for you. Tom Colangelo, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have a copy of the memorandum of understanding that was signed?
Oh, anything would be helpful, yes. Anything we have to support it.
Well, there
Even
was
if
a
it's the same thing.
memorandum of understanding signed by Darrell Jefferson and Rick Harris that allowed that, so I don't know.
Oh,
I've
that would be
seen
great.
it. I've seen it, but I don't know where I've seen it at.
Yeah,
So I was saying,
Rick Harrison signed it, and the rest of the presidents, including Eric Dixon, if they didn't do anything about it, then that means they agreed to it. So it would still be current if he didn't stop it. So yeah, anything like that sort of thing would help. If anybody has documents like that, yeah, that would be very helpful.
well,
you guys have my lawyer's number.
Reached out to the Healthcare Trust Board.
What was it?
Have you reached out to the Healthcare Trust Board?
Well, what happened was a couple members did. When they got fired, they went there and said, "Hey, we want our money." Well, they told them, "No, you're not getting it until you're 65." They gave them the spiel. And then most people who turn 65 have Medicare or Medicaid, so they're not going to need really. They might need a little bit, but you're going to live to be 100 before you spend it. So when you retire, for example, they might have taken $50,000 from you. I don't know, just for example, for argument's sake. So then you turn 65, and you start using it for, and you can't use it to buy furniture. The only thing you can use it for is medical. And then if you use couple hundred a year, it's going to take you a long time to use all that up. That's your money. Then let's say you turn 70 and you, God forbid, you pass away. This money is not left to any of your loved ones. There's no beneficiary. So it's a slush fund, is the term I want to use, that a lot of people has called it a slush fund, and I agree. Tom Sam has called it that as well. So all of this is a slush fund, right? It goes back to CTA, or it goes back to the board. So yeah, in essence, they're stealing our money. They had a shortfall. All these people came in and stole our money. Vicki has more documents, and I like her documents because she has good examples of other agencies that actually went through the same thing what we're going through currently, and was successful, especially the Michigan case, which I don't have in front of me, but my lawyer did make copies. Our lawyer did make copies of all that. So if anybody will meet up with the lawyer, we can all look at it too. But I think it's a good size.
Hold on, Steve. Hold on, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, everybody who's listening, if you want to talk to this lawyer, look at the agenda for the meeting. It's at the bottom at point number 20. His name is Ken, and his phone number is there. So make sure you use that number. I'll go ahead and finish, Steve, and then we got another question for you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what we're at so far. Are you guys all familiar with the Healthcare Trust, right? They just implemented at the beginning of 2008 when they started taking our money. Either they told you or they told you didn't. If you objected, it wouldn't matter. If you didn't sign, it wouldn't matter. They were going to take it out of our check either way it goes. So it's not right, and it's definitely unconstitutional. We have to prove that with the documents that we have to present to the lawyer. So that's pretty much it. Like Eric said, that phone number, his name is Kenneth Duckdung, and the phone number is there. And I can give it to you guys too if you need it. Reach out to him, tell him, introduce yourself. If you have any documents, also mention that as well. And then also, if we have 2 or 3 people that want to have a meeting in his office, that's fine too. When I went there with Vicki, she also brought a coworker because she didn't want to come back to CTA. She just wanted to get her healthcare trust money back. She was so disgusted with CTA that she didn't even want to come back. but she wants her money though. And she doesn't want to wait till she's 65. So, and even if you're 65, it doesn't mean you're going to get it back.
Right.
So,
Okay. We got a question for you, Jan. Go ahead and ask your question, Jan.
Well, I really didn't have a question, Eric. Steve, I just wanted to say, like, again, I'm CSA, so I pay and don't qualify for it. And I won't qualify.
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that? You just kind of like zoned out.
I'm sorry. I was saying, Steve, the issue with the healthcare trust is we have all these CSAs who are paying into this trust. We don't qualify. I am 8 years into the CTA. I'm not vested in anything, but they're collecting this out of my paycheck every 2 weeks. And my age, I'm going to, if they don't retire me now, I would have to work till I'm 75 in order to get this. And
oh yeah, you would be best at fighting this because when you're a CSA, right? When Bob Kelly implemented this, they you know it was financially to the best interest of the union because they're collecting your union dues. On top of that, the healthcare trust, which you guys probably have an excellent case.
Correct.
So you
And
you need to reach out to no, I agree 100% with you. You need to reach out to that lawyer and tell them what you're telling me as well.
All the CSAs need to reach out to this lawyer.
Yeah.
Not just me, but all the CSAs. Okay.
Yeah, we need to have a lot of people reach out, not just 3 or 4, which is like seems to be right so far. And
all right.
also bring your give them a copy of your paycheck. Just I know that they're taking out of your paycheck, but just as evidence that you know that they're taking out your check. Of course, I know they're taking out your check, but the lawyer doesn't know that. He needs evidence. So when you do go, if you guys, anytime you guys go see the lawyer, at least bring your paycheck so you can show them, hey, here it is. They're taking out my check here every 2 weeks. You know, just show them that as evidence, if you don't mind. Not to invade anyone's privacy. Okay.
No, thank you. No problem.
Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Thanks, Steve.
So it looks like we're gonna, if we get more members, like reaching out to him and making the appointment to see him for as far as documents, because that you want to show him in person. I don't think you want to email that, you know. So that would be great. Okay, that's all. I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Thank you for doing all this work, Steve. We really
that's why I've been real busy. You know, that's why I haven't been more proactive with you. But I am on the sidelines. You know.
No, yeah, everybody is doing work. Okay, so everyone, we're at the end of the meeting now. So I need some voice votes here or some thumbs up. I need some thumbs up or something. Here's our poll for the Hour of Power at Harlem. It's going to be at Harlem. Someone posted Jeff Park, but I'm sorry, it's got to be at Harlem because we already had a poll for the location. Jeff Park was definitely up there, but it was not as high up there in responses as Harlem and Lake. So if you go to the chat box, you'll see it. I put in the Justice Coalition group. I saw the poll. I really would like to make this totally accountable, transparent. So if you would please search on Facebook for the Chicago Transit Justice Coalition. All right, group. It's a group. It's a private group. It's only for us. It's not for people who are not members of the coalition. Okay. So those who are members of the coalition have access to the group. If you don't, try to join the group and then we'll answer the questions, let you in, and then we've got the poll. Also in the chat, please, 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 we have to decide a time today. All right, so go to that poll. It looks like people are logging in, You don't have to have a Google account to do it. Okay. And so just do your thing. Any questions, comments? We're done. Anyone want to say anything? This is your last chance.
Thank you so much for allowing me to participate, guys.
Oh, thank you, Eric, for coming in. And by the way, everybody, Ken Franklin, we had a poll and everything. He wanted to come on the call. I told him, well, I don't want you here, but it doesn't matter what I think. It's what the coalition members think. And so I put a poll out there. Should we let him in because he's not an officer anymore. So he can join the coalition and be in the meetings, or he can just be in the meeting or the one meeting, or forget him. Majority of the people said, let him in the one meeting, but don't let him join the coalition. So that was the majority, to let him in. Well, I texted him all the information. I said, come on down. They want you. Here's the results. He didn't show up. So I'm not gonna play this game with him. I mean, it took a lot of time out to do this for Ken Franklin. You all, the majority of y'all said, let him in, and he didn't show up. He said he wanted to be here. And we took time to make a poll, and he didn't show up. He left us high and dry. Typical Ken Franklin. And he wants to be president again. Sorry, I'm out of order. Anyone, any other
You're
comments?
definitely out of order, Eric. I want you to know that.
All right. So you're gonna adjourn the meeting then, huh?
No, I'm just gonna keep you in order, Eric. You're out of
All right.
order.
Any other comments? And then we're gonna go. All right. So 2 weeks from today, whatever date that is, I don't know. Just gonna plug it in and see what comes up. It will be the next meeting. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you learned a lot. And please share it with your friends. We are the union. Have a good night.
Have a good week, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Take care. Have a great week, everyone.